The rain-slicked trail vanished under our feet like a promise we'd never kept. And in that moment, as thunder cracked the sky open, Alex turned to me with eyes that had held back a lifetime of storms. "Hudson," he whispered, his voice breaking like the branches snapping around us. "I can't pretend anymore, not out here. Not with you." My heart slammed against my ribs, the weight of 25 years crashing down. Because the boy I'd grown up burying secrets with was finally unearthing the one that could either save us or shatter everything we'd built. We'd come to the Olympic National Forest in Washington state, chasing ghosts from our Seattle childhoods to kids who'd sworn brotherhood over scraped knees and shared comic books. Now men running from the lives we'd scripted to keep the world at bay. But the woods don't care about your scripts. They strip you bare, force you to face the roots you've ignored until they tangle your ankles and pull you under. I remember the first time Alex and I met, back in the sticky summer of 2005, when we were 6 years old and the world still felt like an endless playground. Our families had just moved into the same rundown apartment complex on the outskirts of Seattle, the kind of place where the paint peeled like old scabs and the hallways smelled of rain-soaked carpet. My mom was a single nurse working double shifts at Harborview, dragging me along to her breaks where I'd color in the corners of waiting room magazines. Alex's dad was a mechanic at the Boeing plant, his mom juggling 2 jobs at a diner and a laundromat, their voices echoing through thin walls late into the night. It started with a kickball game in the cracked asphalt lot behind the building. I was the scrawny kid with freckles and a stutter that made teachers sigh. Always picked last because I tripped over my own feet. Alex, with his wild curls and easy grin, was the new boy who didn't know better than to be kind. He picked me first, not out of pity, but because, as he later said, "You look like you needed a win, Hudson. We all do sometimes." That afternoon, we scored the winning run together, our hands brushing as we high-fived, and something clicked, a thread weaving between us that neither of us could name yet. From there, we were inseparable, 2 shadows dodging the cracks in our worlds. We'd bike to Discovery Park on stolen afternoons, racing through the salt marshes where the Puget Sound whispered secrets to the wind. Alex taught me how to skip stones across the water, his laughter bubbling up like the foam on the waves, while I showed him the hidden trails where wild salmonberries grew fat and red. We'd sit on driftwood logs, legs dangling, talking about everything and nothing, superheroes who could fly away from their problems, the stars that looked close enough to touch. The way our parents' arguments sounded like thunder rolling in from the Olympics. But even then, there were shadows. Alex's family was devout Catholic, his abuela's rosary beads clicking like a metronome during Sunday masses we'd sneak out of early. Mine was Protestant by default. My mom too exhausted for church, but fierce about being good. Hudson, good gets you further than fast. We didn't question it. We just absorbed it, like the damp Seattle air that clung to our skin. At night, when the power flickered out, we'd meet in the fire escape between our apartments, sharing flashlights and ghost stories, our knees bumping in the dark. That's when I first noticed how his voice softened when he talked about the future, how he'd be a pilot, soaring over the mountains, free from the weight of expectations. I'd nod, heart swelling, because in those moments, I wanted to be wherever he was going. By 10, our adventures had escalated. We built forts in the urban wilds of the Central District, scavenging cardboard from alleys and draping them with stolen tarps. One rainy Saturday, we decided to explore the old abandoned mill on the Duwamish River, the kind of place kids whispered about, trusted beams groaning like ghosts, graffiti scrawling warnings on the walls. Alex led the way, his flashlight beam cutting through the gloom, while I trailed, pulse racing with that mix of terror and thrill only he could ignite. We found a nest of feral kittens in the corner, mewling blindly, and Alex knelt down, his face softening in a way that made my chest ache. We can't leave them, he said, scooping one up gently, its tiny claws kneading his palm. I agreed. Of course. And we smuggled them back in my backpack. A wriggling secret between us. For weeks, we hid them in the crawl space under the stairs, feeding them scraps from our lunches, nursing them until their eyes opened wide and blue, naming them after constellations Orion. Cassiopeia watched them grow bold, tumbling over each other like our own unchecked dreams. When it was time to find homes, Alex cried for the first time I saw, burying his face in my shoulder as the last one went to a neighbor. Everything good ends, doesn't it? He mumbled, and I held him tighter, whispering, not us. Not ever. School brought its own tempests. Middle school at Roosevelt hit us like a freight train, lockers slamming, hormones raging, the cruel geometry of cliques forming battle lines. I was still the quiet one, burying myself in books about explorers who'd mapped uncharted lands, dreaming of places where fitting in wasn't a survival skill. Alex, though, bloomed in the chaos. His charisma drew friends like moths to a street lamp. Girls giggled in the halls when he passed. Boys slapped his back for his soccer goals. But late at night, on AGM chats that glowed blue in our darkened rooms, he'd confess the cracks, the pressure from his dad to man up, the whispers from church youth group about sins we didn't understand yet. One seventh-grade dance, under the tacky balloon arches of the gym, it all fractured. We'd gone as a pair, ties crooked, sneakers scuffed, promising each other we'd stick to punch and bad hip-hop. But midway through a slow song, some sappy Backstreet Boys track, the lights dimmed, and Alex was pulled onto the floor by Sarah from homeroom, her ponytail swinging like a pendulum. I watched from the bleachers, a soda warming in my hand, that familiar twist in my gut I'd started calling the itch. It wasn't jealousy. Not exactly. It was deeper. A hollow where his laughter with her echoed wrong. He found me later, flushed and apologetic, dragging me outside to the football field where the dew clung to the grass. You okay, Hud? He asked, punching my arm lightly, but his eyes searched mine too long. We lay there, staring at the sodium-lit clouds, and I blurted it out, the first secret I'd ever voiced. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching everyone else live, and I'm just waiting. He rolled toward me, grass staining his cheek, and said, me too. But we wait together, right? That's what makes it bearable. His hand found mine in the dark, fingers lacing without thought, and for a heartbeat, the world held its breath. Then headlights swept the lot, and we sprang apart, laughing it off as nothing. But it was everything the first berry, the soil soft and forgiving under our hurried hands. High school sharpened the edges. By freshman year at Franklin High, Alex was the star midfielder, scouts from UW whispering in the stands, while I faded into the art room, sketching maps of imaginary worlds where boys like us didn't have to hide. Our friendship was the anchor, Friday nights at Alki Beach, bonfires crackling as we roasted marshmallows and debated Marvel vs. DC until the embers died. He'd lean against me during horror movies at his place, popcorn forgotten, his breath steadying on my shoulder. I'd catch myself tracing the line of his jaw in the TV flicker, then look away, heat rising like fever. The first real storm hit junior year. Alex started dating Mia, the cheer captain with the laugh like wind chimes. And suddenly our rhythms clashed. He'd cancel hikes for her parties, show up to school with hickeys blooming like bruises. I told myself it was Finebe happy for him, Hudson, but the itch grew into a roar. One night, after a game where he scored the equalizer, we drove to Rattlesnake Ledge in the Cascades, the road winding like a vein through the dark. Rain pelted the windshield as we hiked the trail by moonlight, slips and curses marking our path. At the summit, city lights sprawling below like a fallen galaxy. He broke. I don't know if I love her. Hud. It's like I'm playing a part, and the script's all wrong. His voice cracked. Vulnerability stripping him raw. I wanted to pull him close, tell him the part was mine. But fear glued my tongue. Instead, I said, then rewrite it. You're Alex freaking Rivera, you make the rules. He looked at me then. Really looked. And for a second, the air hummed with possibility. But the wind howled. And we turned back. The moment buried deeper than before. Graduation came like a thief, stealing our simplicity. We both got into the University of Washington on a partial scholarship for graphic design. Him on a soccer ride that felt more like chains. Freshman orientation was a blur of dorm assignments and awkward mixers. But we carved out our space, late-night runs along the Burke-Gilman Trail. Coffee at Victrola fueling all-nighters where we dream big. Alex's relationship with Mia fizzled by fall, leaving him adrift, partying harder to fill the void. I'd find him slumped on my dorm floor, reeking of cheap beer, mumbling about expectations, family, team, the invisible script of manhood. One winter quarter, during a blizzard that blanketed Seattle in white silence, he confessed over hot cocoa in my room. I kissed a guy at that Kappa Sig party. It felt right. But what if that's me? What if I'm broken? The words hung, fragile as snowflakes. I knelt beside him, heart pounding, and took his hand, the same one from that 7th grade field. You're not broken, Alex. You're just you. And that's enough. Our eyes locked, and he leaned in, lips brushing mine in a tentative question. Fireworks exploded in my chest. But I pulled back, panic surging. We can't not like this. He nodded, hurt flickering, and we buried it again. The kiss a ghost haunting our every glance. Sophomore year tested us. Alex came out to his soccer team in a fit of drunken courage after a loss to Cal. The locker room erupting in slurs that echoed like gunshots. He showed up at my door bruised, not just body, but soul, tears carving paths down his face. They think I'm a freak. Hud. What if everyone's right? I held him that night, rocking like we were kids again, whispering fierce denials until dawn. You're my hero, I said, meaning it in ways I couldn't voice. Always have been. Slowly, he rebuilt. Therapy sessions I drove him to. Pride flags pinned defiantly in his window. A support group where he found his voice. But I lagged. My own truth a thorn I twisted deeper. I'd date girls from my design classes polite. Safe Emily with her poetry slams while Alex moved through hookups that left him hollow. Jealousy gnawed at me during his stories. The ones shared over late-night pizza. The thrill of authenticity warring with the fear of loss. One spring evening, on the UW quad amid cherry blossoms shedding like confetti, he cornered me. Why do you run from it? Hudson. From us. His eyes pleaded, raw and unrelenting. I stammered excuses, family. Future. The familiar script, but he saw through. I'm tired of burying. Man. Dig it up or let it rot. We graduated into the real world. Diplomas crisp as new lies. Alex landed a coaching gig at a community college in Tacoma, channeling his fire into kids who reminded him of us crappy. Searching. I freelance graphics from a cramped Capitol Hill studio. My portfolio a mosaic of half-told stories. We drifted. Not apart, but sideways. Texts turning sporadic. Visits laced with unspoken tension. Then, last fall, his abuela passed quietly. In her sleep, rosary in hand. The funeral was a torrent of condolences and casseroles. But Alex crumbled in the church basement, whispering. She knew. Hud. About me. And she loved me anyway. In the grief's wake, he proposed the trip, a backpacking loop through the Hoh rainforest, to remember who we were before the world got in the way. I said yes, chasing the boy on the fire escape, ignoring the man who'd become my mirror and my mirror's ache. Now, 3 days in, the storm has turned the trail to mud, our map shredded by wind. We've argued stupid things, like pace and packs, but it's the undercurrent that terrifies, the way his hand lingers on my arm during rests. The silence is heavy with what-ifs. Last night, huddled in the tent as rain drummed like accusations, he murmured, "Remember the kittens? How we saved them?" I nodded, throat tight. We could save this too. Us. Dawn breaks gray, and we're pushing toward the Quinault River. Compasses spinning like my thoughts. A root catches my boot, sending me sprawling into ferns. Alex hauling me up with a grunt. Our faces inches apart, breaths mingling. And there it is again, that pull. Magnetic and merciless. "Hudson," he says, voice steady now. "I love you. Not as a friend. As everything." The words land like lightning, igniting the dry tinder of my soul. I freeze. The forest holding its breath, the rustle of leaves. The distant call of an eagle. The pulse in my ears. 20 years of burials. Of glances averted and hands withdrawn. Rise like specters. My mom's voice echoes, "Be good, Hudson." Church hymns from childhood services. The stutter that made me small. But Alex's eyes anchor me. Brown depths reflecting a boy who chose me first. Always. "I love you too." I choke out, the confession tearing free like a dam breaking. His smile dawns slow, radiant, and he pulls me into an embrace that feels like coming home, the kind with creaky stairs and familiar smells. But stronger, forged in fire. We kiss then, not tentative like college, but sure, the world blurring to the taste of salt and rain and release. The trail finds us eventually, winding out to a ranger station where hot coffee waits like absolution. But the real path is the one we carve from here, therapy for my fears. Family dinners where truths unfold like wildflowers. Alex coaches with more fire, kids blooming under his wing. I design covers for queer memoirs, stories that echo our own. The secrets we buried. They've sprouted, roots intertwining, pulling us toward light. In the end, the woods didn't just reveal us, they remade us. And as we drive back to Seattle, his hand in mine over the gear shift, I know the best adventures aren't the ones you map. They're the ones that find you, lost and ready to be whole. The drive home from the hoe is a quiet unraveling. Windows down to let the damp forest air chase the last of the mud from our clothes. Alex's fingers drum the steering wheel to an old mixtape we'd burned in high school. Nirvana's gravelly ache filling the cab, fitting for the raw edges we're smoothing. "That kiss," he says finally, glancing over with a half smile that crinkles his eyes. "Felt like the first breath after drowning." I laugh, a sound lighter than I've made in years, and squeeze his hand. "Yeah." Or like finally landing after jumping without a net. We pull into my apartment first. The Capitol Hill walk-up with its crooked blinds and coffee stains on the counter. He helps unload gear, our shoulders brushing in the narrow hall. Domestic and electric. Over takeout pho from the Vietnamese spot down the block. We talk not the surface stuff, but the marrow, how his abuela's quiet acceptance had been a lighthouse in his doubt. How my mom's exhaustion masked a love fierce enough to weather any storm. "Tell her soon," he urges, slurping noodles like we're kids again. "She'll fight for you, Hud, like she always has." The next morning, I do. Mom's shift ends early, so I meet her at the diner where she grabs coffee between rounds, formica tables scarred by years of elbows. The sizzle of bacon a constant underscore. She's aged into her lines, silver threading her bun, but her eyes sharpen when I slide into the booth. "What's eating you, kid? You look like you swallowed a storm cloud." I start slow, the stutter creeping back, stumbling through childhood memories. The fire escape confessions. The college kiss that lingered like smoke. Her fork pauses midair. Eggs forgotten. And when I reach the forest, the declaration under the evergreens. She reaches across, palm cupping my cheek. Oh, Hudson, my brave boy. Tears well. Not from shock, but recognition. I've known pieces. You know, a mother's radar. And I've loved every bit the quiet one. The artist. The friend who chooses kindness. We cry into our napkins. The diner hum fading. And as she hugs me goodbye, whispering, bring him around. I need to meet the one who makes you shine. I feel the last chain snap. Word spreads and ripples. Alex tells his dad over a Mariners game. The crack of bats punctuating the silence. Old man Rivera, with his oil-stained hands and gruff exterior, claps him on the back after a long pause. As long as he treats you right. Mijo loves the hardest gameplay at True. The team kids catch wind through grapevine, showing up to practice with rainbow armbands. One lanky freshman muttering, Coach, you're cooler than Captain America. My design circle queer artist mostly throws an impromptu brunch at Elliott Bay Book Company, toasting with mimosas and dog-eared novels. Their stories weaving into ours like threads in a quilt. Summer unfurls lazy and lush. Seattle's rare sun gilding the sound. We hike Mount Si weekly. The boulder-strewn trail a metaphor for our climb slips into old habits. Like when I tense at a stranger's stare in Pike Place. Or Alex overthinks a family invite. But we talk it out on the summits. Feet dangling over the abyss. Vulnerability, our new normal. One evening, as dusk paints the sky violet, he pulls a small box from his pack, not a ring, but matching pendant, simple silver, etched with coordinates of our first kickball lot. Anchors, he says, fastening mine around my neck. For when the world's too loud. Fall brings structure. Alex's coaching season ramps up. Practices spilling into evenings where I tag along. Sketching goal formations on my tablet while he drills footwork. The kids adore him, Javier. The shy defender with dreams bigger than his frame. Mia, no relation to the high school ghost. The midfielder who kicks like thunder. After one scrimmage, as they scatter to parents' cars, Javier lingers. Kicking dirt. Coach, is it hard being you? Alex kneels. Honest as ever, every day. Kid. But worth it. Find your people, they make the hard easy. The boy nods, fist bumping us both, and drives off with his mom. Shoulders straighter. My freelance work surges to a commission for a local LGBTQ+ center's annual report. Illustrations of intertwined paths through misty woods. It's cathartic. Lines flowing freer. Colors bolder. We host game nights at his Tacoma place. A cozy bungalow with creaky floors and a yard overgrown with ferns. Friends rotate in, my artist pals debating fonts over beer. His teammates trash-talking fantasy football. Laughter fills the spaces we'd once left empty. And in quiet moments curled on the couch during rainstorms. His head on my lappy traced the scars of our journey, the faded hickey from high school that wasn't mine. The stutter lines around my mouth that smile more now. But growth isn't linear. Shadows creep. Thanksgiving looms. A minefield of traditions. Alex's family gathering is boisterous, tamales steaming. Uncle's arguing politics over flan, but his primo Carlos corners him in the kitchen. Voice low. Dad says it's a phase. Prove him wrong. Alex's jaw tightens. But he fires back. It's not a phasey, it's me. And Hudson's family. I step in then. Hand on his back. And Carlos deflates. Offering a beer as truce. My mom's dinner is quieter, turkey drying under her watchful eye. The table set for 4. She grills Alex gently as coaching dreams. His abuela's recipes in by pie. She's sharing nursing war stories. treating him like kin. Winter solstice marks a pivot. We escape to the San Juan Islands, ferrying over choppy straits to Orcas, where the air tastes of pine and salt. Our cabin perches on a cliff, windows framing the strait like a living painting. Evenings, we walk pebble beaches, collecting sea glass jagged edges smoothed by time. Like us, Alex muses, holding a teal shard to the light. That night, fire crackling, we write letters to our younger selves, mine to the stuttery kid on the bleachers, promising he'd find his voice in love, his to the church boy hiding in hymns, assuring freedom waits beyond the pews. We burn them in the hearth, ashes swirling up the chimney like released prayers. Spring renews. Alex gets offered a head coaching spot at a Seattle high school full-time, with benefits, and accepts. The contract signing a vow to roots. I land a staff position at a progressive design firm downtown, collaborating on campaigns for youth mental health. My woods-inspired motifs resonating. We move in together. His Tacoma place traded for a queen and flat with views of the Olympics full circle. Mountains calling us home. Yet, the gaykin lingers in subtleties. A heckler at Pride, rainbow flags waving, but slurs slicing through triggers my old freeze. Hand slipping from Alex's. He notices. Later, over ice cream at Molly Moon's. Hey, it's okay to stumble. We both do. Therapy helps, joint sessions where we unpack the burials. The college pullback that left scars. Fear's a liar, our counselor says. And we nod, hands clasped under the table. Summer circles back. Our 1-year forestversary. We return to the hoe. Packs lighter. Steps surer. The trail welcomes us. Ferns unfurling like old friends. At the river's bend where truths broke free. We sit, backs against mossy logs. What now? I ask, head on his shoulder. He chuckles, low and warm. Now. We keep walking. Together. The sun dips, gilding the water. And in that light, our story isn't ended, it's just beginning. A path of petals and thorns, human and whole. As autumn leaves turn the city into a palette of rust and gold, life settles into a rhythm that's equal parts melody and discord, comfortable, but never without its undercurrents. Alex's new role at the high school demands everything. Early mornings plotting plays, late nights reviewing game tape. The weight of shaping not just athletes, but lives. I see it in the furrow of his brow over breakfast. The way he paces our living room, whiteboard marker in hand, diagramming defenses like battle strategies. These kids, he tells me one evening, collapsing onto the couch with a groan. They're mirrors. Javier's got my old fire scared but swinging. Makes me want to get it right. You know. I do know. My days at the firm blur into deadlines, campaigns for suicide prevention lines, where my illustrations of shadowed figures emerging into dawn carry echoes of our forest epiphany. Colleagues praise the authenticity, little knowing the personal cartography behind each stroke. Evenings, we decompress with routines, me sketching while he cooks his abuela's pozole simmering. Child's blooming hitan talks turning to the day's victories. Like when Mia netted her first hat trick. Her grin fierce as a comet, but cracks spiderweb beneath the surface. Alex's dad, ever the stoic, starts needling during family calls, coaching boys make sure they stay boys. The casual barb lands like a sucker punch. Alex's laugh forced as he changes the subject. He doesn't tell me at first, but I catch the tension in his shoulders. The extra reps at the gym that leave him sore and silent. One night, after a particularly grueling parent-teacher conference, some dads rant about woke agendas in sports. I find him on the balcony, staring at the city lights, a beer sweating in his grip. Talk to me, I say, sliding the door shut behind me, the chill nipping at our skin. He sighs, long and ragged. setting the bottle down. It's nothing new. Hunt. Just. The world still got teeth. And I'm tired of smiling through the bite. We stand there, shoulders touching. The hum of traffic a distant roar. I pull him inside. Brew chamomile tea, his secret comfort hand. We curl up. His head in my lap as I run fingers through his curls. You're not alone in the ring. I murmur. I've got your back. Always. He nods, eyes closing. And in that vulnerability, we mend a little. Holiday lights twinkle early. Seattle's version of cheer amid gray skies. We host a Friendsgiving, tables groaning with turkey from my mom, tamales from Alex's sister, pies from the artist's collective. Laughter bounces off the walls. Stories overlapping like jazz. Carlos regaling with his latest engineering flop. Emily reciting bad haiku. But midway, as plates clear, Alex's phone buzzes a text from an old teammate. The one who'd led the locker room chorus years back. Heard you're coaching queers now. Careful. Rivera. The room stills when Alex reads it aloud. Testing the air. But instead of fracture, it sparks solidarity. Javier's mom, a no-nonsense nurse, snorts. Tell him to try parenting first, builds character. We toast to that. Glasses clinking like armor. Winter deepens. An opportunity knocks unexpectedly. The firm pitches a national ad series for the Trevor Project. Teen-focused. Raw with hope. They tap me for visuals. And suddenly I'm in meetings with execs. My woods motif evolving into animated paths, branches parting for figures hand in hand. Emerging whole. Alex beams at the concept board over dinner. That's us. Man. The map we didn't know we were drawing. His pride fuels me. Late nights at the drafting table where doubt creeps. Am I enough? Does this capture the ache? But his notes, scribbled on post-its, more light, here let him breathe. Ground me. His season crests with playoffs. The high school gym electric with stakes. I sit courtsider, sidling a sketchpad forgotten as the whistle blows. The team fights like lions. Javier anchoring defense. Mia threading passes like silk. Halftime. Down by 5. Alex huddles them. Voice steady. This isn't about the score. It's about who you are when it counts. They surge back. Overtime heartbreak, but heads high. Postgame. In the emptying lot. A parent approaches the ranter from conferences. Coach. My boy's better for you. Keep it up. Redemption and flannel. And Alex's grin splits wide as we drive home. Dissecting plays over diner fries. Spring thaw brings renewal. But also reckoning. Alex's abuela's birthday passes will be been 80. He organizes a memorial hike. Family in tow. Sister Elena with her twins. Uncles lugging coolers. Mom scattering petals at viewpoints. I join. Outsider no more. Sharing stories of her empanadas that could cure a broken heart. At the summit, Carlos pulls Alex aside. Voice thick, she'd be proud. Pamano. Of this. He gestures Vigalius. The view. The healing. Tears flow free. And in that circle, hands linked, I feel the lineage, love's quiet rebellion. My series launches to acclaim, billboards blooming across cities. Emails flooding with thanks from kids who'd seen themselves in the paths. One night, a screening event at the center. Alex beside me as testimonials roll, a teen from Tacoma. Voice cracking. Your art said I wasn't lost. Afterward, in the green room, he kisses my temple. You changed lives today. HUD. Mine included. Yet, summer heat waves test resilience. A heat dome bakes the city. Practices canceled. My AC sputtering. We escape to the coast-long beach peninsula. Dunes whispering to the Pacific. Boardwalks creak underfoot as we wander. Ice cream melting faster than resolve. One evening, tide pooling, starfish clinging to rocks like stubborn hopes. Alex drops the bomb. UW alumni games next month. Scouts sniffing for pro leagues again. His tone's casual, but eyes betray the pull the old dream. Wings itching. Jealousy flickers. Unbidden, him gone. Circuits of travel. Spotlights glaring. You deserve it, I say, forcing steadiness. But he reads me like a well-worn book. Not without you. Coaching's my field now, grounded. Real. But if it's pro, we adapt. Like always. We talk till stars prick the sky. Mapping futures, remote design gigs. Weekend flights. A life elastic as the waves. Security isn't stasis. It's trust in the bend. Fall loops us back. Routines refined. Alex mentors a queer youth league. Saturdays alive with tiny cleats and triumphant cheers. I teach workshops at the firm Digital Paths for emerging artists passing the torch. Our flat evolves. Photos pinned Forest Kiss candid. Abuela's portrait smiling in a shared desk where ideas collide. One crisp October eve. Circling back to Discovery Park. Salt air thick with memory. We sit on that same driftwood log. 10 years from now. Alex muses. Arm around me. What's our story? I lean in. Heart full. Still a stronger. Scarred. Shining. The sound lapse agreement. And as gulls wheel overhead, I know the secrets unearthed weren't endings. They were seeds, bursting into a garden vast and verdant. Ours to tend. Winter's grip loosens grudgingly that year. Seattle's skies teasing blue between bouts of drizzle, mirroring the tentative hope blooming in our shared life. Alex's youth league thrives. The kid's a whirlwind of energy, tiny defenders shadowing his heels. Goalies with gloves too big for their hands. I volunteer on off days. Camera in hand. Capturing their joy in bursts of color. A rainbow net rippling with a score. Mud-streaked faces lit by pride. One Saturday, after a tournament win, little Sophia tugs my sleeve. Uncle Hudson. Draw me like a superhero. Her earnest eyes dark like Alex Sundomi. And I sketch her mid-kick. Cape flowing. Later framing it for their rec room wall. Work surges for both. The Trevor series earns a design award glass trophy glinting on our mantle and opens doors, invites to panels. Collaborations with East Coast nonprofits. Alex fields calls too. His coaching profile rising with articles in local rags. Rivera, building champions on and off the field. Reporters probe the personal, how's visibility shaped your style? And he answers with our truth. Edited for print, partnership as power. Vulnerability as victory. Nights. We decompress with vinyl spin Springsteen's gravelly anthems and debriefs over wine. His head on my shoulder as rain patters approval. But spring stirs undercurrents. Alex's mom, Rosa, announces a family trip to Oaxaca Roots pilgrimage. Her first since Abuela's passing. Come, she urges over dinner. Her eyes soft on us both. See where the fire started. We book flights. Nerves jangling, cultural immersion laced with exposure. The plane hums south. Canyons unfolding below like veins of earth. Oaxaca City pulses markets alive with mole vendors hawking. Zapotec ruins whispering ancient resilience. We wander Zocalo's hand in hidden hand. The city's pulse syncing with ours, queer flags fluttering from balconies. Elders nodding knowing smiles. A highlight unfurls at Monte Alban, sunset gilding pyramids. Rosa sharing legends of gender-fluid deities while Alex translates. His voice weaving history with heart. That night, in a candlelit Commodore, Uncle's toast to love's long road. No qualifiers. And tears prick as Elena pulls me into a dance salsa steps stumbling. Laughter healing. Back in the posada, Alex and I slip to the rooftop. Stars thick as promises. This is home too. He murmurs. Forehead to mine. Layers. Not lines. Return catapults us into summer's frenzy. My panel at AIGA conference, Narratives in Navigation, draws crowds. Questions probing. How do you illustrate the unseen? I credit Alex. Projector flashing our forest photo, crop tasteful. The room humming empathy. His league hosts a pride match. Field striped rainbow. Sponsors from local breweries. Post-game picnic. Families mingle, mine included. Mom swapping recipes with Roseanne as kids chase frisbees. Alex kneels before Javier. Captained your first tourney. Proud. The boy's hug says yes. And my chest swells. Loves quiet math. Yet. August heat cracks foundations. A viral clip from the match, Alex consoling a crying player. Arm around shoulder sparks online bile. Trolls decrying groomer in caps lock rage. It hits him sideways. Sleep fractured. Practices shadowed. It's noise. He insists. But I see the flinch. We counter with action, a center fundraiser. My designs on tees. His stories on stage. Donors pack the hall. Checks flowing. And a trans teen's mic drop. You gave me words, silences the ghosts. Fall fortifies. We adopt a rescue pup, a scruffy mutt named Orion. Nod to those kittens is wagging chaos, filling mornings with pause and purpose. Training walks through Green Lake become rituals, leashes tangling like our early days. Talks untangling knots. One crisp loop. Leaves crunching. Alex stops. Marriage. Not tomorrow. But someday. The question hangs. Not demand, but dream. I nod. Pulse steady. Someday sounds like forever. Thanksgiving evolves potluck fusion. Mom's cranberry with Rose's rajas. Tables groaning under gratitude. Carlos. Now engaged. Toasts to families we choose. His glance inclusive. Winter holidays blend. Hanukkah lacks for Emily's crew. Noche Buena Posada with Riveras. Our flat aglow with lights strung like constellations. New Year's dawns deliberate. We ring it on the Space Needle. City fireworks blooming below. Resolutions whispered. Alex to write that memoir for the kids coming up. Me to exhibit solo. Paths in gallery frames. The climb feels earned. Scars badges. Spring 2028 whispers change. Alex's book pitch lands a publisher in New York. Advance modest but mighty. Road to the pitch. Lessons from the sidelines. Ghosting our journey through sports and self. I edit drafts over coffee. Sharpening his voice raw. Relatable. My exhibit opens at Sam. Trails untrod. Canvases of intertwined figures navigating thickets. Sold out crowd murmuring moved. Summer cements. Orion's first beach day waves chasing his bark sweep picnic with the league. Bonfires crackling stories. Javier. Now teen tall. Confides college fears. Alex counsels calm. Me adding art school anecdotes. As sun dips. Families depart. We linger. Sand sifting through fingers. This, Alex says, gesturing the scene, is the win. Fall's harvest. Book launch at Elliott Bay. Shelves stacked with his words. Mine illustrated cover gleaming. Readings draw tears, passages on the forest kiss. The abuela's grace. Signings stretch late. Fans sharing parallels. Your story mapped mine. One eve. Post-launch glow. We hike Rattlesnake again, full circle to that junior night summit. City sprawls below. Vast and vulnerable. Grateful. I say. Hand in his. For the lost. The light. He smiles. That easy grin from kickball days. And the finding. Stars wheel. Affirming, life's not plot, but path winding. Wondrous. Holy hours. As the calendar flips to 2029. Our life hums with the quiet momentum of milestones etched not in stone, but in shared glances and inside jokes. Alex's book climbs indie lists. Fan mail trickling in, letters from coaches adapting his vulnerability drills. Teens dog-earing pages like talismans. He tours regionally, Portland readings in cozy bookstores, Vancouver panels on inclusive athletics. Each stop a thread pulling our story wider. I tag along when sketches allow, turning layovers into date nights, craft cocktails in airport lounges. His head on my shoulder during red ice. My exhibit's ripple expands. Galleries nibble at follow-ups. A residency in the Cascades beckoning to months in a cabin. Woods as muse. Go. Alex urges over packing pancakes. Or Ian nosing for scraps. Fill those journals. I'll hold the fort. Nerves nod as I drive east. Evergreens swallowing the highway. But his texts daily dispatches of league antics. Pup pics anchor me. The residency births a series, echoes in the grain. Bark-rubbed paper with ink paths diverging. Reconverging. Solitude sharpens focus. But evenings. FaceTime calls crackle with his voice. Miss your sketches on the fridge. HUD. And you. Return coincides with his tour Rapa homecoming reading at our local library. Folding chairs scraping as he reads the forest chapter. Voice steady with our history. Audience leans in. A mom in the front wiping eyes. My son's like Javier. This gives hope. Book signings follow hugs. And later, over Thai takeout. He confesses, writing it. Unearth more. Like. The fear wasn't just coming out, it was losing you in the process. I cup his face. Never. We're mapped permanent. Summer swells with weddings, Carlos's first. A vineyard affair in Woodinville. Vines heavy with promise. We stand as joint best men. Toasts blending humor and heart to roots that bend, not break. Dancing under string lights. Elena twirls me into steps. Whispering. You make him whole. Hudson. Alex catches my eye across the floor. That magnetic pull undimmed. League season peaks with a showcase tournament tribal teams from statewide. Fields buzzing. Our kids shine. Sophia's corner kick curling magic. Javier captaining with Alex's poise. Rain slicks the pitch midway. But they play on. Mud heroes. Post-victory huddle. Drenched and grinning. Alex hoists the trophy. This is yours, earned in the grit. Parents cheer. Rain washing clean. And as we towel off in the tent, a scout chats him up Elf national staff. Ever think pro coaching? The seed plants. But he demurs, grounded here. For now. Fall brings harvest of another sort. Mom retires after 35 years. Her farewell party, a hospital bash, balloons in Scrubs colors. Speeches lauding her steady hand. We cater. Alex grilling skewers. Me designing the banner. Harborview's heart thanks. Pat. In the break room. Amid cake crumbs. She pulls us aside. You too. You're my sunset. Brightest part. Tears flow. And her hug lingers. Fierce as ever. My residency work culminates in a pop-up show at the Frintimate. Impactful. Critics note the tender cartography of connection. Sales funding a youth art grant. Alex mans the door. Or Ian in a bow tie. Charming patrons with book plugs. One collector. An elder with silver hair and stories. Buys the centerpiece. Reminds me of my partner's trail long. Lovely. His nod validates. Time's a river. Carrying us forward. Winter whispers introspection. We host a solstice gathering, friends. Family. Fairy lights strung like wishes. Potluck plates mingle. Roses, buñuelos, dusted sugar. Emily's vegan Yule log. Around the tree, a Charlie Brown pine we rescued. We share gratitudes. Javier for his scholarship offer. Sophia for her first poem. Alex's turn for Hudson North. My now? Mine for this circle chosen. Cherished. Fire pops. Sealing the circle. New year dawns ambitious. Alex accepts a part-time consulting gig with U.S. Youth Soccer Workshops on equity. Travel light. Keeps the dream alive without uprooting. He explains. Packing for a Denver stint. I dive into grant projects, mentoring teens in digital design virtual sessions where their pixels pulse potential. One kid, non-binary and shy, emails post-class. Your paths showed me mine's okay crooked. Ripple effect. Profound. Spring stirs wanderlust. We road trip the Oregon coast craggy shores. Lighthouse beams sweeping secrets. Campfires crackle with hypotheticals, kids someday. Or just Orion's chaos. Laughter leads to layers adoption dreams. Surrogacy sketches but no rush. Just possibility sketched loose. One foggy dawn at Cannon Beach. Haystack Rock looming sentinel. He proposes not ring. But words, build the rest with me. Officially. Tears salt the mist, yes. All the trails. Summer seals it. We plan a commitment ceremony small. Seaside. Summer solstice. Venue. A driftwood chapel on Whidbey Island. Guests intimate. Families fused. Friends fierce. Vows exchange under arbors of Salal, mine. You chose me first, I'll choose you always. His. In every storm. You're my steady. Rings simple coordinates engraved. Wood inlay from hoe oak. Reception dances into dusk. Cake frosted waves. Toasts toasting tides turned. Fall's afterglow. League banners with our names, Rivera Hudson Field. A forever pitch. Book 2 brews for Alex, beyond the lines, while my grant expands. Studios for underserved artists. Mom knits baby blankets, just in case. Rosa plants a garden plot for future feasts. One eve. Post-practice pickup kids waving goodbye detour to Alki. Bonfire permits glowing. Flames dance. Marshmallows charring sweet. 10 years ago. Alex muses. Chin on knee. I buried a kiss. Now. I lean in. Lips brushing, we unearth joy. Sound whispers yes. Stars scripting sequels, a life layered. Luminous. Lovingly led. The ceremony's echo lingers into autumn's amber hush. Our rings catching light, like captured sun-subtle talismans against the world's whirl. Life accelerates gently. Alex's consultancy blooms into quarterly intensives. Flights to Austin and Atlanta where he trains trainers. His toolkit now including our story as case study. Not preachy. He texts from layovers. Just Real House sideline authenticity scores big. I beam at the photos him in polos. Gesturing to diverse cohorts brides swelling like tide. My mentoring program scales too. Partnering with Seattle Public Schools for after-school labs kids from all zip codes logging in. Screens alive with their visions. Urban mazes morphing meadows. Identities inked bold. Sophia joins. Her digital superheroes fierce and fluid. Crediting. Coach Alex said dream dangerous Uncle Hud taught how. The loop closes. Generative. Winter wraps us cozy. Rosa hosts Posada season panadas swinging. Kids blindfolded and giggling our flat away station for stragglers. Cocoa steaming. Mom's post-retirement glow shines in volunteer shifts at the center. Her stories syncing with ours, patched more hearts than wounds. It turns out. New Year's. We host a vision board night magazine splayed. Scissors snicking futures. Alex pasting soccer fields with family silhouettes. Me layering paths with studio sketches. Or Ian choose a corner. Oblivious oracle. Spring 2030 surprises with shoots. A documentary crew approaches indie outfit scouting, queer love letters to place, pitching our Seattle saga, from kickball lots to commitment coasts. Raw footage. The director says over Zoom. Your Wood's moment is pivot. We am privacy's currency, but Alex nods. If it lights one path. Filming starts casual, home interviews on our couch. Orion photobombing. Recreations at Discovery Park. Laughter trumping nerves. My mom's cameo diner booth wisdom steals scenes. Loves the best medicinino copay. Summer solstice marks 1 month married her. Committed with a micromoon. Cabin in the Methow Valley. Wildflowers nodding. We hike ridges, wild and woolly, pausing at vistas where valleys unfold like opened hands. Evenings, stargazing decks. We draft year 2 letters, his on legacy, kids of our own. Coaching compassion, mine on creation, a book of paths. Yours woven in, sealed with wax, buried shallow for future digs. League hits stride, tournament circuit gleaming. Javier, college-bound, returns as assistant tall, tattooed, teaching footwork with flair. Full circle, coach. He grins, and Alex ruffles his hair, keeps circling up. A loss stings mid-season rain-lashed finals, but huddle talk turns tide, growths in the grit. Not glory. Parents echo post-game. One dad admitting, my bias blinded Met Hanks for the wake-up. Falls ferment, doc editing arrives. Rough cuts screening in our living room, grainy glory of fire escapes. Forest confessions. We cringe at raw bits, me stutter flaring. Alex's tears fresh, but director's touch tenderizes, voiceover mine. Narrating arcs. Premiere whispers at Sifried carpet modest. Friends filling seats. Q&A glows, a viewer. Teen with notebook. Your ordinary extraordinary, it's permission. Post-screening party pulses. Toasts to trails blazed. Winter deepens resolve. Rose's health waivers, flu lingering into pneumonia, and we shuttle to Tacoma. Soup simmering. Stories soothing. In her hospital room. Monitors beeping soft. She grips our hands. You boys me rainbow after rain. Recovery's slow, but sure. Homecoming with meals on rotation. Her laugh returning like dawn. New Year pivots personal. Fertility talks crystallize e-consults with agencies. Options unfolding, adoption paths. Known donors. Emotions eddy, excitement laced with ache. Fears of not enough. Sessions unpack, Alex's church ghosts. My stutter scars on worth. We're enough together. Therapist affirms. And we nod. Hands linked. Spring buds family. A match surfaces newborn via open adoption. Birth mom seeking stability. Home study hurdles hum references glowing. Flat puppy-proof fed bud hearts race. Wait lists weave summer suspense. League breaks filled with prep. Crib assembly fumbles. Nursery murals of gentle paths. August answers. Call comes mid-practice. It's a boy. Hospital vigil blurs joy and gravity. Tiny Elias Rivera Hudson latching first. Eyes squinting at light. Naming nods lineage Elias for Abuela's brother. Lost young. Homecoming's haze. Feedings fracturing sleep. Orion sniffing curious. First weeks. We tag team Alex burping. Me rocking love's new lexicon. Coos over cries. Milestones in minutes. Fall frames fatherhood. Doc streams nationally. Sparking talks. School districts booking Alex. My murals commissioned for clinics. Elias's rhythms route U.S. Park strolls and slings. His gurgles syncing with sound gulls. Javier babysits. Uncle in training. Little man's got your eyes. Hudreamers blue. One eve. Elias asleep between us. Alex traces his brow. We made this from buried to boundless. I kiss his temple, and more to come. Windows frame Olympics. Eternal sentinels. As family unfurl stender. Tenacious. Timeless. Elias's first holiday season sprinkles our world in wonder, tiny fingers grasping ornaments. His babble's a soundtrack to chaos. Thanksgiving swells tables. Mom stuffing mingling Rose's mole. Elias in high chair smearing sweet potato like abstract art. Toasts tilt toddler ward to new branches on old trees. Carlos. Dad now to a niece. Hoist glass. Family's the ultimate team, pass it on. Winter weaves warmth. Alex's workshops expand virtual global reach. Coaches from Manchester to Melbourne tuning in. Your book's Bible. One emails. And he glows. Typing replies while Elias naps on his chest. My clinic murals multiply waiting rooms blooming paths of possibility. One pediatrician noting, kids trace them. Find calm. Doc residuals trickle. Funding a college fund for Elias future-proofing dreams. New year dawns diapered. Elias rolls at 3 months. Army crawling toward Orion's tail. Chaos cueing laughter. We babyware to league games him cheering garbled from my chest as teams rotate. Auntie/uncle duties. Sophia braiding his wisps. Javier high-fiving chubby fists. A spring cold sidelines us. But park picnics resume. His first blades of grass clutched like treasures. Spring 2031 sprout steps. Elias totters at 10 months. Our living room a obstacle course of cushions. Adoption follow-ups forge bonds birth mom's visits. Park playdates where she marvels. He's got your fire. Alex. Gratitude circles, letters exchanged. Her art degree pursued with our quiet scholarships. Summer solstice celebrates 2 years committed beach bash with core crew. Elias splashing shallows under watch. Vows renew casual, still choosing. We affirm. Rings kissed. League camps thrive. Alex directing day-long drills. Elias assisting with toy whistle. A pro scout lingers post-session. Youth programs gold Olympics path. Temptation tugs. But he consults me over ice cream. Roots deep here. Decision, advisory role. Travel tethered. Falls foliage frames firsts. Elias utters, debated dada/uncle till surrender and daycare eases our returns. Him waving by with pudgy palm. My solo book pitches drawn home. Maps of the heart lands with a progressive press. Illustrations paired with essays on journey. Alex beta reads. Notes, nudging depth, lean into the stutter its strength. Winter whispers expansion. Rosa. Recovered. Knits Elias booties. Mom crafts mobiles of sketch stars. Doc's sequel brews, trails continued, crew capturing fatherhood frames. Alex coaching with babe on hip. Me painting amid playpens. Premiere teases at festivals. Buzz building. New Year toddles in. Elias turns one smash cake mayhem. Guests cooing over curls like Alex's. Party yields a surprise. Birth mom announces grad school acceptance. Our card enclosed. Paths parallel proud. His vocabulary blooms HUD bud. BA, ball, milestones marked in journals. Spring steps up. Book proofs arrive. My words woven with Wood's watercolors forward by Alex. Tender testimonial. Launch at our library. Elias reading board books ringside. Signing swell with parents. One mom. For my quiet kid thanks. Elias echoes. Babbling approval. Summer scores. League Nationals Elias's first road trip. Hotel crib creaking. Team medals bronze. But spirit gold, Javier. College star now. Guest coaches. Mentoring Elias with mini cones. Scout chats evolve Alex Nab's part-time Olympic consultant. Seattle-based. Best of worlds. He grins. Packing for orientation. Fall fortifies. Elias walks steady. Park chases with Orion a daily dash. My book climbs charts. School adoptions funding more labs. Doc sequel streams. Reviews raving sequel sweeter, Elias stealing hearts in blooper reels. One crisp hike family loop in Discovery. Elias between leashes Alex pauses at our driftwood throne, from 2 to tribe. I nod. Babe hoisted high. And thriving. Sound size content. As season script, love's legacy. Ever unfolding. By 2032. Our tapestry thickens threads of toddler tantrums and tender triumphs, weaving a warp resilient as old-growth roots. Elias hits 2. A whirlwind of why and wonder. His question's a catalyst. Daddy. Why sky blue? Alex fields with science. Me with stories clouds as canvases. Skies as stories untold. Mornings ritualize, pancake stacks. His syrup mustache mirroring Alex's grin. Before daycare drop-offs laced with hugs. Spring unfurls professional petals. Alex's Olympic gig gels workshops at national trainings. His book, now curriculum core. A TEDx invite beckons, from sidelines to center, coaching the whole athlete. Prep consumes evenings. Elias, helping, with marker scribbles on note cards. I film practice runs in our studio balcony with city backdrop, his delivery honed. Heart hammering home. My book tours regionally signings in Portland cafes. Vancouver galleries, Elias tagging for short hops. His crayons conquering hotel pads. Fans share spirals, a coach adapting paths for team building. A dad gifting to his artist son. Returns refuel with family feasts. Rose's tales of Oaxaca youth spicing suppers. Summer solstice 3-year mark, island getaway. Elias building sandcastles crowned with shells. Vows evolve, choosing chaos. Cherishing calm. League wraps with Camp Elias, camper in tow. Tiny jersey cheering goals. Sophia. Teen now. Lifeguards the pool. Her whistles syncing with his giggles. False fervor. Alex's TEDx drops online. Views, viral comments cascading. This saved my season. Came out watching, thanks. Olympic staff floats full-time. But he counters, family first hybrid here. Negotiation nets flex, quarterly intensives. Home base intact. Elias's birthday Bashtino theme. Backyard roars draws pack. Javier home from college. Regaling with dorm disasters. Mom unveiling a quilt of his baby pics. Cake smash redux. Frosting fierce. Yields a gift, birth mom's photo album. Milestones mirrored. Winter warms with whimsy. Doc trilogy teases roots and wings, filming Elias's interviews. His toddler truths, love big. Like dada's hugs. Streams spike. Funding league scholarships. My second book, Brews, Intersections, Where Paths Meet, Essays on Intersectional Art. Alex's forward framing fatherhood. New Year 3 steps. Elias potty trains triumphant. Rewards and park parades. Olympic kickoff, Alex in Colorado Springs. Elias and I Zoom cheers. His waves waving, dad home sooner. Spring strides. Book 2 proofs pulse progress. Covers, Elias tested 4 pretty colors. Tours tandem. Alex keynoting beside my readings. Synergy sparking sold outs. A family in Tacoma adopts our model queer coaches. Art integrated teams, gratitude looping back. Summer scores big. Nationals gold, Elias mascot. Medal around neck. Scout evolves, Alex advisory lead. Travel trimmed. Vacation, Yellowstone. Geysers gushing like our glee. Elias awestruck at bison herds. Fall flourishes. Elias pre-K previews. Alphabet songs sinking suppers. My book launches to acclaim reviews, raving, beacon for blended lives. Alex's role solidifies. Home more than horizons. Winter whispers wishes. Rose's 90th. Wait. Her 65th wedding anniversary to Pop's Fiesta Grand. Elias dancing with abuelos. Doc trilogy premieres. Trilogy complete, from Lost to Legacy. One snow-dusted eve. Sledding in Discovery, Elias whooping down Hillsweet Summit, rosy-cheeked. Best team. He declares. Mittens mashing snowmen. Alex scoops him, forever starters. I capture the frame mental sketch for posterity as flakes fall forgiving. Scripting. From secrets sown to joys reaped. Our woods walk in endless. Enlightening trail.
They're coming. We have to move now.